Hey, Shalom, Akim Zabaya Allah, coming back to you again with this truth. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, Yahawashi, Waharakakadash. Give honor to the apostles and elders of Greatmillstone, all right, who taught me this truth. Peace and salutations unto the shepherds that feed the sheep, Yahawah, Yahawashi, all right, including the confusion of faces that are scattered abroad, who look like different nations, speak different tongues, who believe in this truth. All right, and you few sisters, Aqua, that are listening and learning. To you, I say Shalom, you who are sincere. All right, now this is going to be a quick video on how Esau's nation of E, his tongue is, falls upon itself. All right, like it says in the book of Psalms, his own tongue shall fall upon himself. Now we all know about 9/11, which we're around here. And I mean downtown, that's where I am, but November 9th just passed, all right, and that's the 11th month, the 9th day, and an article came up on my phone about what events took place, all right, during November 11th, November, and the day on the 9th. Doesn't matter the year. And I immediately thought to myself, 9/11, and as people have found out, that 9/11 was what, an inside job, all right, by these banking elites to start their takeover of the Middle East, all right, to start their new world agenda, all right, with the weapons of mass destruction lie, that took place, all right, a world event that changed pretty much the state of the world, pretty much forever. I mean, for the time being, excuse me, and I'm just gonna go into this real quick. Okay, this is the first slide here. It's today in history. This is an article I just wanted to get to. It says, it's the first slide, so bear with me while I swipe through. It says, 1799, Napoleon Bonaparte stages a coup d'etat. All right. Now this is when he became a dictator in France. Now who was behind Napoleon Bonaparte? The bankers, the Bavarian Illuminati. All right. But Adam Weishaupt and the rest of the bankers, they set him up at that time. All right. To set up one of the heads of the 7 heads, written in the Book of Revelation about the 7 heads and the 10 horns. All right, France is one of them 7 heads. All right, I'm just gonna sweep through this just to show you that 9/11 was, was staged no different than any of these. All right, that's why they did it. And, they like to work with numerology, and they like to work with backwards masking. Just like you have Oprah, which her network was on. Everybody was kind of on it. Well, people started to wake up to it. And when you turn it backwards, it's NWO, all right? So it's no different here. They just did it with numbers as what they like to do because they're warlocks and, and all of that, all right? So we got 1872, Great Boston Fire wreaks havoc, all right? And it says one of the costliest fire disasters in American history. All right, and it says the inferno began from the basement of a commercial warehouse and spread over downtown Boston, ravaging more than 750 buildings, killing at least 13 people. The numbers are good. All right, and destroying over 60 acres of commercial district. All right, so best believe real estate was involved, all right? Just like as you found out, as people started to find out that, I don't know if someone had bought the lease or the property of the World Trade Towers, I believe. I forget exactly. But as soon as that information leaked, people started to, connect the dots that something was wrong, all right? It's no different here. A great fire. They said, let me read. It said it started in the basement, all right? A fire that started in the basement destroyed 60 acres. They just let it burn, huh? Okay. All right. It shows you there was finance. All right. There's money involved. All right. No different than the Twin Towers. As people started to hear that the property of the World Trade Center was paid off, was paid for. All right. Or it wasn't paid for. Excuse me. And that was one of the reasons that people started to connect the dots, that someone let it get destroyed. All right. And as we know, it's those elite bankers, all right, that start their New World agenda. All right. It's no different with the Boston fire. All right. And this says these are speed records. This is 1938. It says Kristallnacht Notch begins. All right, this is in Nazi Germany, which we all know they were actually so-called, they were Amalekites, so-called Jews. All right, come to find out, Adolf Hitler's true last name was Schicklgruber. All right, and this is how they established the state of Israel by creating a bankers' war. Bankers' war, which is World War II, controlling both sides. All right, which is all written in biblical prophecy when it talks about in the book of Revelation about the first war when the second war was passed and the third war cometh quickly, which is World War III, which we're already at the beginning stages of right now. All right, it was no different back then. That second war that's written in the book of Revelation, this was to establish those so-called Jews that are actually Edomites, Amalekites, to be the so-called Jewish people today, the state of Israel. Okay, and they what is it? What you call it? What you got, like what's the term? Salakia. Agent provocateurs, staged events. With these George Soros's, back then. Like what is it? Zuccotti Park and Black Lives Matter. Things of that nature. It's no different. They did it back then. All right. They show you that all of these staged events and atrocities are all bankers' wars and their plots. All right. And it says called the Night of Broken Glass. The violent riots in Nazi Germany saw secret police. All right, which we have today as a CIA or anything like that are related or in relation to those sort of groups. All right, and civilians attacked Jews and destroyed their homes, stores, and synagogues. The name came from the shards of glass broken from the buildings, which littered the streets after the attack. It lasted until November 10th and resulted in the death of about 100 Jews. The riots were the retaliation to the murder of a Nazi diplomat by a 17-year-old Polish Jew. Now that stuck out to me because, as you know, what the true, Holocaust at that time happened to the Polish. It didn't happen to the so-called Jews. All right, which leads me to believe that a lot of those Polish over there, which I've heard, go back to the Christian nobles. All right, because remember you had the Tsar family, over there in Russia. They ruled up into the early 1900s. All right, so they had family all throughout those regions. All right, mainly Poland, and Poland, even to this day, is still like always played like middle ground, like almost like, okay, if you choose the U.S., choose Russia. Choose the U.S., choose Russia. Soviet, or the democracy. It's always been like that. But this leads me to believe, all right, that those people that they killed weren't Ashkenaz. They probably were Sephardic Jews, which I'm hearing, from my apostle, that not 100% sure that a lot of Sephardic Jews may very well be Israelites, all right? May very well be, and that's very possible, all right? That's very possible. Okay. All right, so let me go next. I didn't want to go off topic too much, but let me continue to go. It's 1965. It says the Great Northeast Blackout. All right, that was the first Great Blackout. There was another one in 1977. It's showing you they were trying, you know, these blackout staged events back then. All right, 1965. You know, EMP attacks that people are talking about now. All right, all leading up to today. All right, it says the Great Northeast Blackout began with a series of power failures, lasting up to 13 hours. There go those numbers again. About 30 million people in 7 states, numbers again. And parts of Canada were left without electricity. Okay, just to show you. All right. Okay, 1967, Saturn V. Now, you know, Saturn goes back to Rome, to one of the Roman gods, or Saturnalia. All right. This is why you see, like, the Jews are like the ones who wear all black. That goes back to the Saturnalia worship or the priesthood. But this really just goes back to Satan worship. All right? But this goes back to Rome, which shows you this is Rome all over again. And this is in America. 1967, Saturn V makes debut. All right? Saturn 5. Okay? 5 represents power. All right? And then you got another event that took place in history, in world history. All right? It says in 1989, the fall of the Berlin Wall. All right? Another controlled situation. All right? Controlled opposition. All right? Staged event. It says allowing travel from East to West Berlin. You know, the East was supposed to be, you know, communist, and the West was democratic. All right? It says the East German officials opened the Berlin Wall. It's called Open the Gate. Roared the crowds gathered at Berlin Wall. While the Cold War ended 3 weeks later, the reunification of Germany took place during the following year. All right, so we're going to keep going. Kodak. Here we go, another one. Venus. This goes back to a Roman goddess. Okay, it shows you this is the second leg of the Roman Empire. This Rome all over again. All right. It says Venus Express launches. All right, and this is in Europe. Okay. I don't want to make this too long. Let me see if we have one more. Okay, and this one, I asked myself, why was this so significant? Why did they put this here at some world event? All right. It says 2005, 3 hotels are bombed in Jordan. Suicide bombers carried out simultaneous attacks on 3 U.S.-based hotels: the Grand Hyatt Hotel, the Rasidan SAS Hotel, and the Days Inn in Amman, Jordan, killing 60 victims and wounding hundreds. You know, Al-Qaeda, which that's been full-blown exposed. You know, a lot of people call them now CIA because they know that was a controlled opposition, a renegade group, no different than ISIS or any of them groups. Boko Haram, you know, groups like that. All right, Blackwater, you know, which was exposed. So this is not some hidden information. All right, it says Al Qaeda in Iraq claimed the responsibility for the attack. All right, so it shows you that was a controlled staged event by the bankers. All right, to get their new world order going. All right, to try to establish it up until to this day. All right, but it's failing now. All right, that's why Revelation 12 and 12 is going to take place. All right, he's going to throw a monkey wrenches. He's throwing monkey wrenches in his plans. Okay, and that's why YouTube is now going to change his whole policy coming up. All right, they're going to throw all videos talking about conspiracy or anything that isn't commercially viable. They're going to shut those channels down. All right. Meaning a famine of the word, all right? And there's a video out that Apostle Tahar put out that we're going to start, well, they're going to start, once I say we, because I'm going to start uploading there as well, that we're going to go back to Daily Motion, where masses of brothers woke up, and sisters, all right? You know, it wasn't any policies or anything like that, all right? So this is just a quick video showing that All of these world-changing events were all staged, all right? You know, those according to prophecy, all right? The Lord allowed them to do this thing, all right? Because it's just to fulfill prophecy. Because Esau, all right? He's using Esau to destroy his own kingdom, all right? The nation of East, excuse me. I don't want to use that word too much, all right? This is just a quick video. So I hope this video was edifying. Until next time, I say shalom to the elect. Shalom.